Dollars Want Me by Henry Harrison Brown. In this book discussion, we're going to reflect upon one of the most important principles that we could learn regarding prosperity consciousness, or bringing forth wealth. And you can bring forth whatever kind of prosperity that you want. So replace dollars, whatever word you want. Whatever word wants me. Now this is a change of mind for many of us. We say, we want this, we want that. When we recognize that from a certain rearrangement of the mind, we realize that all actually wants us, we experience what we call inner harmony or harmonious mental attitude. So that's one of the big paradigm shifts of this book right here. And I'll quote him when we say, the prevalent attitude is want for the dollar, belief that dollars are power. This must be outgrown, and the attitude must be that all power is in man. Dollars are machines, with power delegated to them by man. They are useless without man. Dollars want me is to be the thought of the coming man. A few so think now and have obtained mastery of supply. So, mastery over money is recognizing that we give it the meaning. And if the meaning is I want, I so desperately need, then we give the power to that outer world element. When we realize that the power is within, then when we can assess where we are assigning the meaning and what kind of interpretation we have to the five sensory experience, in this case we're referring to dollars. When we say dollars are machines with power delegated to them by us, we reassign the power back to we are in control of the dollars. We are in power over our reality. And from the recognition that we are from within, then we do not put dollars from a place of want, but rather from a place of want you. Because if we look at dollars being, as he refers to here, dollars are machines with power delegated to them by man, then when we say, what can we do with these machines to realize more of the power, we now work with the dollar and create return on investment. So in other words, the dollar is looked at as an investment. I invest in food so that I can survive and enjoy life. I invest in a home so that I can have an environment where I could dwell peacefully. I invest in education. I invest in entertainment. I invest in others. This concept of I invest is maintaining the idea that the power is within you. And by saying that there's any power in anything in this outer world, we put ourselves in a position to experience void, internal disharmony, and desperation surrounding whatever that element may be, in this case, the dollar. So that's one of the big paradigm shifts of this particular book. He says, there is neither health nor prosperity without harmony. So what do we want first? We want the harmony within. This goal of self-realization, the journey to ever evolving of what he refers to, and I also refer to, right thinking or accurate thinking, is the recognition that A, we are the creator of this experience, and B, we are interpreting this experience. And thus, we have the power to reinterpret it in a way that all things are added onto you, that which we desire. That creates a state of mind called harmony. Mind, body, and estate must be cared for in order that there may be health, happiness, and prosperity. there must be harmony. We understand that prosperity wants us, by reassigning the power, or more accurately put, reassigning the meaning to the accurate belief that the power is within. And based on the power within, we create more of a connection, see it as investment. When we see it from this perspective, all these other beliefs that we have regarding scarcity, or I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid to ask for money, all of these things get excluded out of consciousness because you now recognize that dollars are facilitators of value. As in, I provide you a value, you provide me a value, and if you're not able to provide that exact value that I'm looking for, that you can give me money in which I can give you the value, and I could take that money and invest in something else that will allow me to have what I desire. It is a form of facilitating value. Now, for whatever the reason may be, we have learned that by having more money, then we're going to have more of the things that we want. What ends up happening if we dwell too much in that state of mind, we may become desperate, needy, and then start to have mental disharmony and start acting in very confusing ways, creating disharmony in the outer world in order to acquire it. So we must first find the harmony within. He says this harmony is found in merely giving self, the soul, its way. Well, one of the ways of the soul is mastery over inner speech, inner conversation, imagination, and mind. And this allows us to work with the mental law. And the mental law states all things added based on the state that we identify with. In this case, mental harmony, which allows us to see dollars or whatever form of prosperity as one with rather than separation. He says harmony is living in obedience to mental law. It is found in right thinking. The law is simple, and it is laid out by the greatest political economist as well as the greatest mental scientist the world has in its historic records. His name was Jesus. He gave the law thus: seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. Recognizing that there is a world within, a kingdom within, power within, and from there we reassign the meaning to the power within rather than saying the power is in the outer world. Through this process, all things shall be added from that state of harmony. He says, analyze this law, thus, kingdom of God, where, within you, live in accordance with your sense of right, obey your own conscience. Then all things shall be yours. Things of whatever kind, of all kinds, are manifestations of the one substance. Things are, like yourself, manifestations of the one God. Dollars are things. Dollars are manifestations of the one God. So dollars are things, and we give it meaning. And from the dollars want you mental harmony, you begin to facilitate the creative thinking of the one substance. And we can also call this infinite intelligence. That is done from a state of mental harmony, inner harmony, one with, not seeing the dollar as separate from you, one with, as in you can bring it forth. He says, plain directions, these: live true to self, live spiritually, give the first place in your thought to the eternal, from which things come, and all things will come to you at need. First, yes, not things first, but that mental condition which controls things. So not dollars first, but the mental condition of harmony which controls the dollars. So if we say dollar first, then we create mental disharmony. and we go and chase the dollar. We experience what we call a void. So he states here, not dollars first, but that mental attitude which attracts dollars. One with, all things added, investment. Now, as we say these things, we feel more at peace. And then we experience what is called success consciousness. And he explains it really well here when he says, success lies in the mental attitude that arises from that sense of personal power, which meets every condition without anxiety. So let's say that again. Success lies in the mental. It's an attitude. It's a state of mind. One with state of mind. All things added. Seek first within. The condition within controls things. So success lies in the mental attitude that arises from that sense of personal power, which means every condition without anxiety. So this feeling of anxiety surrounding money or prosperity is based on mental disharmony about whatever it is that we refer to as prosperity. Dollars, relationships, material things, life experiences. If we feel anxiety, it is the allocation of meaning that implies that the power is in that, as in, if I get that, then I will be happy. And what we want to realize is what he says here. He says, change your attitude towards business. Do not seek it. See it mentally already yours and let it come. Key distinction. See it mentally already yours. Now, this may require affirmations to adjust our thinking, our beliefs and assumptions within, because we learned these disharmonious ways of thinking, but we have the power to change it. And we'll get into some of the affirmations that he shares in the book, and we'll further weave it into this conversation. So, see it mentally already yours and let it come. Attend yourself to details as they come to the surface. Consider business a principle that will run, as runs a mountain stream, when you remove your conscious will from it. So when he's saying remove the conscious will from it, he's saying allow the depths of the infinite realm within to express through subconscious creativity and flow from within. Creative thinking, hunches, inspirations is a result of, as he states here, seeing it mentally as already yours and letting it come. So if we're creating a business, entrepreneurial endeavor, and we recognize that dollars want us, then we want to have thinking that facilitates, such as the ones that he shares here. Love for the ideal leads to desire. Desire leads to action. Action converts untoward conditions into the actual ideal. So thus, when you live in that state of mind, and watch the video I did on accessing states of mind, I'll put a link in the description, dwell in and live in that state of mind, then what happens is that we take the optimal action, the right action that leads to the attainment, and we maintain it. He says, in this respect, you must follow the law of supply and demand. You must honestly feel that you will give the dollar's worth for every dollar that you desire. So, if you're connected to the divine realm within, the infinite realm within, then you have access to infinite value that you can share with others. And in exchange for that value, you receive fair compensation. We all have access to it in the world within. So when he was saying remove your conscious will from it, these are really references to the mental chatter, doubts, indecision that you have of your already existing ability to bring forth value as exchange in the space of entrepreneurship. And I speak to many entrepreneurs about this. In the earlier stages, they might not recognize the value that they have. And one of the ways for them to recognize the value that they have is to dwell in the end. What does it look like if it was true? See yourself already experiencing the success in the business and maintain that state of mind. Because from there, he says, let it come. As in, the ideas, the hunches, and inspirations will be received within. And then desire leads to action. Action converts untoward conditions into the actual ideal. And when we recognize that it's based on the law of supply and demand, the space of entrepreneurship, we also have to recognize that there are many demands that others might not be communicating right now. But you will find the ideas within to create that product or service, or whatever it is, that innovation, to awaken the other person in the articulation of, that's what I was looking for. That's exactly what I was looking for. I couldn't put it into words, but that's what I wanted. Because there is a demand for the infinite supply within. He says you must honestly feel that you will give the dollar's worth for every dollar that you desire. So it's a facilitator, meaning of accurate thinking, which, by the way, is removing friction. So if we say dollars want me, but you say to yourself, I don't have the value to give, we remove it by recognizing that there's infinite value within. And then you have the ability to find the service or whatever it is and meet the demand, facilitate, create the bridge. He says, first, you must have something which the world needs and is willing to pay for. Now, this is a common statement from the world of entrepreneurship, from the world of business, having something that the world needs. We even refer to this in the Ikigai, doing what you love to do, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and that what you are good at. This is what he's referring to right here. The truth is there's a lot of things that you are good at, that the world needs, that will be revealed to you via maintaining that ideal state of mind in which the hunches and inspirations flow from within. And as a result of that, then what happens is you'll discover it. And many entrepreneurs that I've spoken with on the journey of creative success did not know what it was as far as products or services or whatever it is that they were doing to facilitate the results, as in abundance of dollars, until they committed to the journey. They saw themselves already successful, and they began to further affirm it. And as a result, they found what it was, what the world needs. And as mentioned earlier, sometimes the world might not be able to articulate it in words. How many inventions have been made, been brought forth, innovation, in a way where others could not articulate what they were looking for, but then after, people were like, that's what I wanted. Secondly, you must in all sincerity dedicate every dollar that calls to you to noble service. All of this meaning connects with the soul. We want fair exchange. We want to be able to facilitate whatever it is that we want to bring forth from a place of power within, as in the creator within. And that the obvious return on that service to others is fair compensation. Because at the end of the day, we have removed this idea that the power is in the dollar. The power is within. We're allowing the dollar to be the fair exchange from one value to another. And you could replace dollar with Bitcoin or barter or whatever you'd like. And seeing it from that perspective allows you to also, again, maintain that state of mind and removes unnecessary complexity and friction in thinking, which results in mental disharmony surrounding money and creating unnecessary void and separation by putting it on a pedestal and saying that it has power over you. He says, it is always the mental attitude that determines success. Let that attitude be, business wants me. So the whole premise of this is that dollars wants you, business wants you, prosperity wants you, whatever wants you, because you recognize that you are connected within to infinite potential and you are infinite value. So then you know some way, somehow, hunches and inspirations will show up. And they do show up. So here are some affirmations to facilitate that were from his book. I am part of the one, and in one possess all. I possess all. Affirm this and patiently wait for the manifestation. You have sown the thought seed. Now, like the rancher, wait for the sprouting and the harvest. It can never fail you when, like him, you trust. And here's another one. I affirm that there is but one power, one mind. So again, there is but one power, one mind. Based on your perspective, you're creating this experience and interpreting this experience. And we want to interpret the dollars or whatever it is, our form of prosperity, from a place of it wants me, by aligning it to true meaning, as in all things added from the recognition of that there is one power, and facilitated by what we call love. All things added, all stories, the way you bring it forth, whether it be entrepreneurship, your career, or whatever way, is facilitated from a place of love. By saying dollars want me, we neutralize this excessive meaning that we give to the dollar by putting it on a pedestal, thus allowing ourselves within to facilitate the dollars coming to you from a place of hunch and inspiration within, not conflict within, thus maintaining that ideal state of mind, or as he refers to here, harmony within. So again, the affirmation, I affirm that there is but one power, one mind. All phenomena are but a manifestation of that one. The self-conscious manifestation of that mind, man, because he is self-conscious, has power to command obedience from all that is not self-conscious, to command all that is not himself. Money, being a part of all, and also being a creation of human thoughts, is subject to human will. And again, the premise is money wants you, which is that things are not the condition that controls you. You are the interpreter and the creator of the things in which you control. Now, as we continue to affirm this kind of way of looking at reality, in this case, money or prosperity, we begin to experience more harmony within. We recognize that we were creating this unnecessary complexity and convolution in meaning, thus experiencing void, separation, desperation, frustration. And that's okay. We have learned this kind of meaning, and we have the power to change it. And as we change it, we start to notice from the mental harmony that how we relate in what he was referring to here, which is desire leads to action, as in automatic action, as in you're not afraid to ask for money, as you're not afraid to put out your products or services, and if you experience rejection, you don't take it personally, you see it as optimization data, as in that there's a supply and demand, and you will meet that infinite demand that exists from the creative intelligence within. You recognize that you already have, and you have infinite potentiality within to meet what the world needs and what they're willing to pay for. And you know that how you carry yourself is from that state of harmony and thus noble service. And then that reflects what he says here. It is always the mental attitude that determines success. Let that attitude be, business wants me. From this state of being, from this attitude of mind, which has right thinking, that is in relation to accurate meaning, to money as an investment, and also as a form of exchange of value, by encouraging that kind of meaning, it's easy to affirm more so that money wants you and business wants you, and thus experience it in the abundance of business that flows your way. If you want to copy this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.